Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a board game community that's your community too, no matter where you are. In this episode, we travel eastward to visit our favorite Asian-themed games. We emerge from the apocalypse in this week's game of the show, Revive. And you, the Gleeples, get to play along as the hosts get put in the hot seat with this week's game challenge. Hey, fellow tribe leaders.
Hello,
James. It's Emily.
This is JK.
And Dwayne is here.
And of course, this is James. And of course, I brought another brain teaser, brain riddle for you guys.
Nice.
Tease
I didn't
me,
win,
James.
I didn't win last time. I'm salty about this.
Was that too much?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I said, tease me, James.
Let me tickle your brain,
I was like,
Emily.
as soon as I said it, I don't know.
We
What
are
you got
really
for us?
inching up to that PG-13, y'all.
Here we go. Interior design never really was my thing. Okay, well, JK's already got his hand up.
So does Dwayne. Dwayne was a hair behind me.
Oh, geez. Okay. So don't judge my choices as I build my dream. I change my mind a lot, so keep up if you can. The stables go there. Trust me, man. Yes, it's more expensive for you this time. Give me your money and don't whine. Because cheap foyers are on the horizon, just got to make sure it ties in. To the other rooms, that is. You got to be a hallway whiz. This old house has nothing on me. We're building up and out for King Ludwig.
Yep.
That is the castles of Mad King Ludwig.
It is indeed.
Incredible. Interior design. That's all it took for them.
You know, I thought I was going to throw you off because you've been playing a lot of
Decorum.
lately.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. I was like, oh, there's a few games with interior design. I'm going to keep listening. No.
Man, I
Already
thought it would-
lost.
I thought it would last more than one line before someone got it.
We
Jeez.
both jumped in quick.
All right. Good job.
Thanks. All right, guys. I have to tell you about something that happened at the house, and it was really, really weird.
Tell me, JK.
So, full disclosure for listeners, I've been married to my wife for 21 years now. We have reached that point long ago in our relationship where we finish each other's sentences and all that stuff, where we kind of think similarly. But something happened that we were both like really weirded out. Like it's almost on the verge of paranormal. Yeah. Let me set the stage.
Okay.
So
Go on.
in our house, I mean, obviously we're sitting in my house right now. You guys know how it's set up. But for listeners, we've got an ordinary middle American house. But on our back end of the house, there is a screened in porch that we built a few years back. My wife tends to live on that porch. She's out there most of the day. I am an indoors guy, so I don't venture out there much, but I'm at least out there once or twice a day just to kind of like chat with her, see what's going on and such.
How's your life going? Haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Kind of. So last week, I was sitting at my game table and I was doing a playthrough of Amsterdam, which is one of the games that I picked up at TGD on the VFM.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of wanted to see how it played, how it compared to other Steffenfeld games. And I was very pleasantly surprised. It was great. And I think on the heels of playing Marrakesh and Hamburg and Castles of Burgundy, I even commented to you guys, I think that day that I said, I think Steffenfeld is my favorite game designer. I think he's just, the wheelhouse that he does is really good for me. So
Your new designer boyfriend.
yeah. So now I need a Steffenfeld game with Vince Dutrade art. And that would just, I would explode. So I finished this game of Amsterdam and I walked out to the screened-in patio, and then there's a little beanbag kind of chair bed thing, and I just plopped down on that. And I said the same comment to my wife. I said, I think Steffenfeld is my favorite designer. Now, my wife doesn't care about board games at all, so this was meaningless to her. We just kind of struck up a conversation while we're sitting there. And I pull up my phone, and I go on BGG, and I do a quick search of what are the top Steffenfeld games, because I know the ones that I have, but I don't know what other ones are out there that I've not been exposed to that might be great games. And so while we're talking, I'm just sitting here surfing this list, randomly looking at different games, trying to find, the next one that I want to get. And my wife turns and looks at me in mid-conversation, and she points to a statue that is sitting on her table on the patio. It has been there for months. I have been out on that patio every single day for months. And she goes, do you know what this statue is called? And I looked at it and I said, well, yeah. Why did you ask me that right now? And she's like, I was curious whether you knew what this statue was called. And it's something that she picked up at a bargain hunt or a secondhand store or something, whatever. It's just a neat little tribal statue, but it's called a Kokopelli. And I looked at her, I said, why did you ask me that right now? And she's like, I don't know. I was curious to pick your brain to see whether you knew. And I hold up my phone, and the Stefan Feld game that is currently on my phone was Kokopelli.
That is wild. Oh
Wow.
my gosh. I love bizarre coincidences like that.
I have been on that porch every day for months. She's had that statue for months. She's had every opportunity to ask me what it is to see if I know what it is. She chose the exact moment that I'm surfing past that game with the same title. What the hell?
Oh man, what
Stars
a coinkydink.
That's
That is
funny,
interesting.
JK.
How do you spell that?
Kokopelli. I believe it's like Australian Aboriginal, maybe.
Oh.
But yeah, it just weirded me out. Like for the rest of the day, I just kept looking at her. I was like, stay out of my brain.
Yeah. For,
Where are the
Married
moons
too
at
long.
right now? What's a line that,
Yeah. So
Wow.
anyway, call X-Files or something like that. That was super weird. We've been kind of wigged out about it for the last week or so. And I guess I need to go find a copy of that game and buy
you need to
it.
bring in some ghost hunters into your house.
Yeah.
And do all those tests and listen for the sounds.
yes, mouth noises.
All right, listeners, we have a discussion today about a theming of games that is interesting to a few of us. You know, for me, I grew up watching a ton of anime. I still watch a ton of anime. And I've always been intrigued and have enjoyed digging into Japanese culture, just Asian culture in general. And so themes around that also interest me a lot. And, I thought it would be fun to talk about Asian themed games.
You know, we've had several discussions on our show over different genres of games, whether it's Cthulhu or space or whatever the case may be.
Horror.
Yeah. And oftentimes on those shows, I've said, hey, this is really not in my wheelhouse. I don't have a whole lot of games in this genre. This one I do. As I started looking, I went, oh my gosh, I do have a lot of Asian themed games.
This has been a huge blind spot for me. So I wrote down a few games, but I'm interested.
That's code for I have not a lot to add to this discussion today.
No, I still had a list of 5 games, but I feel
Nice.
like the poser, and I am bringing what I can. But I'm interested to hear because I feel like this is like James's wheelhouse.
I don't know what appeals to me about Asian themed games. Maybe it's the design elements. They all just look great, the ones that I have. I know my bucket list for world travel, I've never been to Asia, to Southeast Asia, anywhere in that area, and I definitely want to go. So maybe that's part of it, as I'm kind of living vicariously through my board games.
But I'm thinking back. I think I only have one Asian themed game in my collection, and it is a game that I would have bought in 1997, which is before I even considered myself like a hobby board gamer. It is a little bit on the hobby side of games.
We're trying to guess. Is it Shogun?
It depends on which Shogun you mean, but you probably mean the one I think you mean. The one, the Game Masters by Milton Bradley.
Yep.
Yeah, that is it. I bought that along with Axis and Allies back in the day.
Yeah, I've been to South Korea a couple of times, so had some great travels. But a few games in my collection that stand out for me, and I don't know. I thought it'd be an interesting theme to talk about. There's been a lot of fun games from a lot of old games, always focused around samurais, and that was, for a long time, just in Western culture, we grew up with kung fu movies and samurais, and that was always kind of the fascination with Eastern culture. But that's come a lot farther than that, and so there's been a lot of fun games of recent years. So thought we'd dive into a few.
What are some of your favorites, James?
Oh, geez. Well, then I'll hit you with one. I'll hit you with one first.
Okay.
It's I feel like it's not talked about a lot, but for those that know it, love it, and it is Rajas of the Ganges.
Oh, you went with continental.
That is
very nice.
Yes,
very nice.
That is a very good game.
If you want a perfect medium plus, I would say Euro.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost if you want to even go more incremental, it's between medium and medium plus. Like I don't know how to say it, but because I consider it's more complicated. Like my bar for that, my measurement is always Rococo. Rococo is the perfect medium weight Euro. Not complicated, but enough there that makes you think. Medium plus, one step up, right? You know, you can add some combos to it. There's more to consider. I'd say Rajas is there, and it's just I love dice drafting. The theme of the game is right in 16th century India. The powerful empire of the Great Mughals rises between the Indus and the Ganges rivers. Taking on the role of Rajas and Ranis, the country's influential nobles, players race against each other in support of the empire by developing their estates into wealthy and magnificent provinces. And it's all driven by dice. It's dice worker placement. And I love dice if you're using them as worker placement, if you're using them for drafting. But you have a fun combination of dice worker placement happening out on this board. But then also you have your own personal player board, which is your you almost think of it as a duchy, but your province, your area, where you're putting down these tiles and building out your area with different buildings that give you resources. So you're playing on a main board, playing on your own little area, and it's a great example of dice worker placement, and another great example of this is pre-terraforming Mars, where you have two tracks going in opposite directions.
Fame and money.
And you're trying to, when those, all players have their own trackers for these two tracks. And when one player's two tracks cross, that triggers the end of the game. And so it was an example of that before Terraforming Mars. And just, man, fun. You can get some combos going, but just enough there to really, give a satisfying Euro experience.
I thought about putting that on my list, but I thought, nah, it's too much of a curveball. No one's going to like me for posting that. So thank you, James.
No, I think that's And when we talked about this as a topic, that one didn't even come to mind. It's something I've played a few times. It's really solid. And James, to your point about how complicated the game is, I really feel like if they streamlined the board a little bit, it would knock it down to maybe the medium area. I just think the board is very busy and there's a lot going on. And there could be a way to simplify that without changing any of the play of the game.
I do agree. It's a colorful board and a busy board. Once you know how to look at it, it's well organized, right? It's kind of got its own sections, but it is a lot to look at. I think it would actually be a great game to have a second edition of, and that be one of the things that they fix. And then to add a little expansion to it. Not that it needs it. Not every game needs an expansion. It's kind of perfect as it is in my mind. But, what better reason to put a little module out there than a second edition? So
I'll kind of make my suggestions for this list in order of the ones that I would prefer to play the most. But I've got a couple ones that are kind of wild cards at the end of the list too. For starters, I want to go with Onitama. Onitama is a great 2-player only game that kind of shares elements with chess. You're working your way across what looks like a little miniature chessboard, trying to either capture the king or take over the space that the king once occupied. What makes it fun is the movement is determined by a set of cards that are introduced to the game. And you've got a wide variety of cards that are in play. You can basically take a card from your tableau and say the crab, for example. The crab will show you the starting location for a piece and all the places it can end up. You can choose to play the crab and move a piece however you want, and then you pass that to your opponent. And as the cards are kind of moving from one person to another, you know specifically the only moves that your opponent can make and what they can have coming up in the future. It's a nice little tactical game, a little bit of a brain burner trying to figure out how am I going to capture their pieces without giving them the cards they need to capture mine.
I'd say before the whole duel craze, this was the 2-player game for a long time that people talked about.
Yeah, I haven't been able to play it, but I think I watched you play with someone at a board gaming event, and yeah, it looked very interesting.
Yeah, it's real fast, easy game. Just a nice depth of strategy for a really small game.
That's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah.
I will go. So the first one on my list that I actually have in my collection too is Lanterns.
I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
Yeah, me neither.
Because after looking at my list, I just like went ahead and looked at all the designers, and this is also made by an Asian person. So I was like, okay, I got Asian theme, Asian designer. Like, here we go.
We literally just played that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It never even crossed my mind.
It's a game I want to bring out to the family. It's nice, lightweight, like great for our events. You're just building out this board and like collecting your color cards and turning them in for fortune, favor. What's the victory point?
Favor, yeah.
Yeah.
Buying favor tokens.
Yeah. Nice lightweight game. Very, very pretty. And so I like bringing out when I can.
Yeah, it's a beautiful theme. You know, the lanterns are the paper lanterns with candles in them that you place out onto water, onto a river or a pond or whatever it might be, to celebrate festivals in Japanese culture. So it's just really, really pretty theme, pretty tiles in the game. It's great play. Great choice. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. Interesting strategy to that, in that every move you make, you are giving the other players.
I
You are
heard it too,
giving the
James.
other players resources.
Yes.
So you have to really calculate how to best limit what you're giving them and
Yeah.
still kind of move yourself forward.
It's like similar to like Space Base in that people get things like every turn kind of, but with the added strategy. It's not just random dice rolling. It's okay, well, I know they're getting really close to like the red goal, so I really don't want to give them another red or whatever. Also, this is a game that has a colon in it, so it might show up in a future
It already
colon.
has.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
why I couldn't remember. But yeah, Lanterns, colon, the Harvest Festival.
How about you, Dwayne?
So besides the aforementioned Shogun or Samurai Swords, as it was also published under Gugon, is the only other Asian game that I feel like comes to mind that I've had experience with.
Great choice.
Love it. It's
And
on my list.
It's a solid play. It was in my collection for a short period of time. It's one I ended up getting rid of just because it was something I enjoyed playing, but I was like, I think I could find other people in our group who own it if I wanted to get another play of it in.
Well, there's two people at the table that own it, so
Yep.
your odds are good. Although
And it's not me.
I am infinitely jealous. I would be more than happy to play Gugong with anybody anywhere, but if I'm going to play with James, we're going to play his version.
Yes.
What does
I
that
have
mean?
A
Oh, he has the
rare
nice one?
deluxe version.
Ooh.
Oh, the only thing better than a deluxe version is a rare deluxe
rare.
version.
Because there were multiple
Or
deluxe
possibly-
versions of this one, and mine is in a red velvet, like literally velvet felt box. And
Get
it's
out.
pretty. It's a pretty one.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
I'd like to felt that myself.
But I love Gugong. It takes place in China in 1570, and it uses the theme of the game is that you're trading gifts with the bureaucracy of that time period. But part of it is
Wait,
you're
trading gifts like we do on our chat?
I had the
Yes, Dwayne.
same thought, Dwayne.
Yes.
No one says it like that. We're not going to start that argument. Go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. I
No,
didn't know we were going to
you're
get to
fine.
that.
But you're always trying to trade up. And so part of this game is the gifts have values. And if you gave a gift of the same value or better, you get better actions in the game. If it's a less valuable gift, you get fewer actions. And so you have this hand of cards that represents these gifts, and the action spaces all over the board have spots to put down these cards. And so on your turn, there's the card is filled with all these different. The board is filled with all these different cards with gifts, and you're playing one from your hand that will determine the power of your action. But then also you take the card that's already there into your hand or into your discard pile that will become your hand of cards for the next round. So you're also trying to plan for the future. It's like, okay, well, what powers of actions am I going to get? And really pretty board, fun action. All the actions interplay with each other, and you're helping to build the Great Wall in one of the actions and going up a palace track, which If you ever play this game, go up the palace
Go
track.
off the palace track. Don't miss out on that.
If you don't, you
Yep,
can't win the game.
agreed.
But it's a fun action mechanism of trading cards with what's on the board and, getting powerful actions as a result of it. It's great. I love it.
James, I think we're over to you for another
Back
pick.
to me again. Okay. One of my next ones, I'm going to go back to some crunchy Euro goodness, and that is Iki. IKI. This also has some really fun mechanisms and fun theming as well. It takes place in Edo, which is modern day Tokyo. And your focus is to kind of be you're artisans, and you're walking around this marketplace and building stalls in this marketplace. So it acts kind of as a rondel throughout the game. You're just going around this circle, and think of it as a circle is the best way to look at it. And the circle has 4 quadrants, and each quadrant is a set of stalls that the players own. And so you're putting out these stalls. And if one of the other players stops at your stalls and use it, that particular artisan that's working that stall levels up in their career, kind of, and eventually those workers, those artisans will graduate and retire, and so that card gets removed, but it goes to your player board, give you some bonuses, and all the players are just spending time going around this circle throughout the course of the game, visiting these stalls, getting resources, triggering things. Sometimes leveling them up, and you're just traveling around this marketplace, visiting all these different stalls, getting all this stuff throughout the course of the game. And it's crunchy, it's thinky, it's a great theme. There's an aspect of this game that during this time, fires were really common in these markets, and it would burn down the stalls. So an aspect of this game is you're playing over the course of 4 seasons. And there are certain times during the season that will just trigger this fire phase to represent that. And the fires start from the outside of each quadrant and work its way inward. So if your stall is the outwardmost stall, it's more likely to be hit by the fire. And as the fire moves inward, it gets weaker and weaker. So if your stall is on the innermost section, it's less likely. But the stalls on the innermost sections cost more to build it from the get-go. So just an interesting interplay of your stall location, protecting from fire, and just going around, enjoying, visiting these marketplaces, getting fish, getting tobacco and pipes and all kinds of stuff. Great game. I mean, thematically, it's one of my favorites, and the expansion Iki Akabono adds a lot to it as well.
As always, James, you took my move.
Oh, no.
Iki was going to be the next game I talk about, so I have got plenty more in the chamber I can pivot to. I'm going to talk about Yamatai. Yamatai is a Days of Wonder game that was their follow-up to Five Tribes. Five Tribes was a huge retail success. Yamatai, not so much. Not so many people bought it, but I think it's a highly underrated game. Really beautiful. You are sailing through an archipelago, and you are kind of trying to acquire different islands along the way. You are spending resources to get additional support to help you. Very similar to Five Tribes, the way they did the genies. This has different servants and warriors you can kind of recruit to your cause to raise points. Huge miss on the part of Days of Wonder for some reason. I don't know why, but it's gorgeous. Beautiful artwork, really colorful, really bright. A lot of fun to play. Everybody should check it out if they have an opportunity. I believe out of print, but if you can find a copy, definitely check it out.
Oh man,
it is pretty. I've always wanted to play it just because how pretty it is, and I've never have.
Yeah,
it's so many games I've never played. Have you guys heard of a game called Sushi Go?
Yes.
Maybe.
Nice. Okay. I like it.
I feel like James is bringing all the big guns, and I'm like, I like party games.
Yes.
It's a great one, though.
Yes. Sushi Go, I really like the iteration on it. Spin some for dim sum. Has a nice little gimmick where you can, there's a dim sum plate on a Lazy Susan, essentially. And
is this the Sushi Go party version?
No.
That's different, yeah.
Completely different. Because like this one has, you're picking up the pieces and adding them to your menu. Have you played this one?
It's a
I don't
different
think
version
I've played
completely.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's cute,
a lot of
JK. You
a
should
lot
give
of
it a
people
look.
do
Okay.
Sushi Go or Sushi Go Party because they're all cards. This is like bigger, kind of like medium box size. You have this plate that spins around, and then when it's your turn, you have the option to grab the food item that's right in front of you or spend chopsticks. You put your chopstick on the food item and then spin the plate in whatever direction you want. Your
Yeah.
face is so funny.
Spin some for dim sum. Okay. I don't know that I've ever seen this.
Yeah, and so it's nice. It's cute. It's played it with the family. It was very funny. Playing it with my niece when she was younger, like had no strategy to it. She was just picking up the ones she thought looked pretty, and so it was like the point difference was very drastic. But my nephew really caught on to it and will sometimes beat us at it.
There's also a dice version.
I haven't seen the dice version.
Yeah.
But nice, like lovely little concept. Love sushi. And so that's my next game.
That's a great one. By the way, if you like Sushi Go, you should check out Graft. It's a little card game from IB Studios.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hand drafting, very similar, but gives you same feels. Good game. Good choice, Emily.
Thanks.
I'm going to round out my list with a game that's been out of print for a while now, and that's Chinatown. James, Emily, have you all had a chance to play this?
Yes.
No.
Emily, did you and I play it together at TGD? Am I thinking the same play?
Was it the one with our friend John?
I thought we played with Mike Hudson.
That sounds right. I think he was also in that game.
Another friend of the show. But Chinatown is a great negotiating game, like really a negotiating game in its purest form. You're given random tiles, and the idea is to kind of form blocks of businesses around Chinatown, and you have to negotiate with the other players to get the other tiles that will complete your blocks. But it is a solid. It has been. While it hasn't been reprinted, it was re-implemented into another game that I had on my list and just missed it in case you were interested and wanted to play it for without having to pay for an out-of-print game. Waterfall Park re-implements the gameplay of Chinatown.
Dwayne, we played it so long ago that this was before I started recording my wins and scores in BG Stats. It was like TGD 2022. I was like, I think I'll bite the bullet, get this BG Stats app that you guys keep talking about. But I just listed the games I played and who I played with.
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
okay.
4 years ago.
JK, have you played it before?
I don't think so. I think I've seen you guys play this at a couple different events. I saw it come out. I remember John having it, but no, not played it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either. It's from 1999. I'm looking it up right now on BGG.
Yep, it's an old school one.
Yeah, lots of little tiles and colored pieces that, there's some beige in there as well, even though it's not a
Yes.
Euro, but
every board game designer's favorite color, beige.
Beige.
Yep.
And apartment landlords.
James, give us one more selection.
I will, but I will say it's rated 7.4. I mean, for being a game from 1999, that's pretty awesome. All right, well, my last one, we couldn't talk about Asian-themed games without mentioning modern favorite Euro, the White Castle. Such a great Euro packed into a small box. De Vere's great at doing that just in general with their games, but you get 9 turns in this, and that's it. And by the 9th turn, you really built up, if you've done a good job, if you played well, a really good engine with this game. And it has great interplay between dice worker placement, again, dice drafting, and dice worker placement, because you kind of draft the die and then immediately place it. So it works one and the same, along with engine building. Fun mechanism of you have 3 sets of dice placed on bridges thematically. and you take one die from either the left side or the right side of the set of dice, and the next ones become available for the next players, and then you place them out on the board and take your action. What you're doing in the game is you're taking control of one clan to score more victory points than anybody else. So you're putting out gardeners to tend to the pond and the gardening. You're putting out warriors in the training fields, and then you're sending out courtiers through the actual gates of the castle to send them into the castle and then work their way up the levels to gain favor. All the while picking up cards to drive your engine and try to get little combos going. That's ever changing because the board state changes when cards are changed, and it's a great game, a great engine builder that's packed into a small package.
And this one's on BGA, and it keeps recommending it to me, so I might finally check it out. It does sound very.
It's an interesting game.
Yeah,
it's very, very tight. Like you said, 9 turns and the game's over. So your actions are,
which sometimes really stress me out, or they really get my brain going, and it's really hard to tell what a game will do to my brain.
It can once you dive into it, give it a play. It'll take one play for
just to get used to it. Yeah.
Just so you know what to look for.
I have gotten a lot better at like just relaxing more on my first time playing any game now. I used to get like really, really frustrated. Now I'm like, nope, it's a gimme. Just get through it and then get to the second play.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those.
Last game I want to talk about is one that the play is good. It's not a great game, but it's a good game. But man, is it beautiful, is Tang Garden. And in Tang Garden, you are basically setting up a garden with little pagoda buildings in it, with little panoramas out of the perimeter. And the gist of the game is you have a minifigure for the character that you represent in the game. And you are going to score by placing that minifigure out into the garden. And whatever they can see in front of you is in how beautiful it is how you're going to score the points. So in terms of 3D components, artwork, and everything, this game is phenomenal. It may be one of the best looking games in my collection. I wish it played a little stronger as a game. That would probably knock it over the edge for me, but as an experience, solid game.
Oh man, they have pushed out some deluxeified versions of this game that is just, it's amazing. I mean, everything is 3D. The plants, the trees, the bridges, the pagodas.
Yeah.
By the end of the game, it is just a beautiful thing to look at.
Yeah, when you have that on the table at the end of the game, you're like, wow, this is really, really cool looking. Emily's looking at the shelves trying to figure out where it is. Upper left hand corner.
It's fine, but I'd still rather have Orange Juice Garden instead of Tang Garden.
What about Fago?
I've always wanted to play it. When it first came out, I've been so close multiple times to clicking back when they've reintroduced it to crowdfunding or buying a deluxe version, and I just never have. But it was, I would say, in terms of early crowdfunding stuff and really deluxeified components and 3D pieces, it was one of the earlier ones that really dove all in, I think, to that.
Yeah.
Pretty game.
All right, for my last one, we have referred to this game as Battle Yahtzee before. It is King of Tokyo.
Nice.
This is another one that I think I got introduced to early in this group. Got it for my nephew. Love playing it with him. It's definitely one of those, like, you got to play with the right people with the energy. Because it's just chucking dice. Sometimes you lose a bunch of health. That's just it. Like, just trying to be in Tokyo and whatnot. Fun monsters to pick. I always pick the cat robot looking one. I forget what it's called. But yeah.
Legally distinct non-Godzilla monsters.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's a great 6-player game. If I've got
I agree.
6 players and it's not necessarily a hardcore board gaming group, it's usually one that I suggest. Very easy teach. Most people are familiar with Yahtzee, and even if they're not, Yahtzee rules are easy. You roll the dice. You can re-roll them up to 2 times, and it's a great one to bring up, Emily.
Good for the family too. I've introduced this to my family a long time ago when the kids were younger. And if kids love just big monsters and rolling dice, it works and it's easy to teach.
This was a game, one of the plays I had with my niece and nephews. My niece got one of the cards where it's like you rolled this very improbable combination of dice to get this like super OP effect. And she got it. and just like immediately won the game. And I was like, I feel like we've been playing for 10 minutes. Like, what just happened?
That'll be a memory. Stick with them for a long time, though. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
And it is probably my favorite Richard Garfield non-collectible card game.
Oh, yes. I learned that
There you
today.
go, yeah.
Designed by the same guy that created Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
They don't
But
have
not
like
just
anything in
Magic the
common.
Gathering. He did make a few other banger collectible card games, including Jihad or Vampire the Eternal Struggle and a Netrunner, which is my personal favorite of his.
Dwayne, give us a final selection.
Oh, no, I already did that, JK. I'm tapped out.
Okay. Well, real quick, we'll just do a quick list here. Those games we all mentioned are great. We're just barely scratching the surface of Asian themed games. So other ones that come to mind immediately, Maki Master, Bitoku, Tokaido, Takanoko.
Tokaido, gosh. Takanoko, yeah, I forgot.
Hanabi, Machikoro, Yokai Sketch. There's another card game that I wish I could remember the name, a little set building one.
I don't know what you're talking about, but
Ohanami, yep.
That's card building?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
like up and down. It's row building, column building, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have the one that I spoke about on the last episode about with the great components and the money, which is the new Nippon Zaibatsu. It'll probably end up being one of my favorites. I think it's an old one that's been re-implemented.
Currently number one on the BGG hotness.
Yeah, so check it out. It's a kind of economic Euro, more Euro than economics, but yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Asian games, man. They're beautiful. Go check them out.
All right, Gleeples, this episode's game of the show is Revive. Revive is published by Aporta Games. It's currently at an 8.1 on Board Game Geek. It was released in 2002. It plays 1 to 4 players, but it's at its most gleeful at 3 players. JK, tell us how to play Revive.
Revive is a post-apocalyptic strategy board game set on a frozen Earth where players lead tribes trying to rebuild civilization after a long ice age. It blends engine building, card play, and exploration. Players use multi-use cards to gather resources, construct machines, and unlock technologies while expanding across modular maps and interacting with ancient sites. A standout feature is its campaign-style progression system, where new content and rules are gradually unlocked over multiple plays, giving the game a legacy-like feel without permanent changes, all while emphasizing strategic planning, asymmetry between factions, and replayability. Revive, coming out of the dark.
I don't know that reference.
I don't remember who said that song. Was that a... Now I need to look that up.
Well, while you're looking it up,
it was just in my brain.
Is it Gloria Estefan?
It might be Gloria Estefan. Yeah.
It's like the referencer doesn't know the reference.
I'll say right off the bat, I brought this game for y'all to play, and just quick comment on that campaign thing that you mentioned. If you end up buying this, playing it for the first time, just skip it. Just open it up and read through all the cards and introduce everything. There's no reason to. It's not what they really proclaim it to be. So just open it up, put all of it into play immediately. You want all the things that are part of that campaign. But I brought this game. I know how I feel about this. What did you guys think about Revive?
Oh, I love it.
It's a really good game. So I've played this a number of times, both in person and on BGA. I'm going to lean in first on the component quality, the component level. The player boards on this, when you first brought this to the table, this might have been one of the first iterations I'd really seen of dual layer player boards. And the way the way you could do the cards and the technology tracks and things like that. And it wrecked my brain how cool it was. When you start to factor in your asymmetrical player powers and things like that, there's a lot to really like about this game. I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler here. I really enjoy playing this game. I am nowhere near good at it.
Yeah, I think I had a beginner's luck play, and I think part of it really heavily relied on the people I was playing with misunderstanding the end game goals. And so I was able to shoot up in points during that play. And man, I just struggled to get an engine going this game, but I still love it. It's so thinky, and it's like I haven't played like a complex game like that in a while, and it just like it really scratched my brain in a way I enjoy.
I have had 2 plays of Revive, one in person and one on BJ, the one we did for the show. Playing it in person was a treat. I love the theme. I think the theme just is perfect for this game. The components are fantastic. The choices are interesting. I didn't have that same experience on BGA, and part of it might be I'm going to say part of it is my fault because I thought I remembered how to play the game and I did not remember how to play the game. It was a difficult play for me on BGA.
It is a lot to manage on Board Game Arena, and in truth, it's a lot to manage in person.
Yeah,
it's a table hog. The main board, center board, isn't particularly small. It's not huge, but your player board, your individual player board, is a 2-piece player board. One is a large piece, and another is a small piece. So when you play this, I mean, in person on a 4-player game, it takes up the entire table from corner to corner.
I think we
and
played
your entire
it here.
afternoon.
Yeah, we played it here, I think, and we struggled getting it all into the table.
Yeah. So when you're on Board Game Arena, I mean, it is. I played it on my phone on Board Game Arena, and because I know the game, it didn't bother me that much. But it's a lot of moving around and scrolling and checking on things.
There was like halfway. I don't know if it was halfway through the game or early on in the game. I was like, okay, guys. I'm losing my mind. How do I play some Meeple? I was like, what am I missing?
That size of it all, though, in person is kind of what you were saying, Dwayne. It was a treat to play in person. It's a lot to play with. It's a lot of moving pieces and parts in a good way. It's pretty. It's impactful. It has presence. It is fun to be playing this game, just looking at it on the table.
It's not a big point salady game. There's usually not super, super high scores with this. But, James, I think where I've struggled, I'd love to hear you speak to this. There's so much you can do in the game. There's so many different paths you can take, so many routes you can go. I know you've had a good run of winning games at this. Do you specialize? Do you generalize? Kind of where do you go when you're playing this game?
So the neat thing about this game is that it gives you so many different ways to approach strategy and ways to approach getting points, but also ways to pivot. And to help explain this, I'll talk through some of the main actions that you get on the game. So you have 5 main actions, and then your 6th one, whenever you need to, is a reset, essentially. It's called Hibernate, and it resets your board and does some stuff. I won't go into all the details, but the 5 main ones are you can play a card, which usually will get you resources and trigger other things. You can flip a switch, which allows you to get resources from one of your opponents. But when you do that, it takes that card out of their play area and puts it into their hibernate area, which is a good thing because it frees up that for them. It frees up the slot for them to use again that turn.
You're giving them a benefit by doing that.
And then the card will come back into their play later. So you're helping them, but you get what you need. And then the 3 other main ones are you're building buildings out into the main play area. You are putting out little population figures, little meeples out into the area. And you are also exploring that area. And so when the game starts off, you all start from the middle of the board. And it's a pre-seated board with tons of, they're not hex, I don't know what you describe, tiles, flipped face down tiles. They're not hex, it's a weird shape.
It's 4 hexes connected.
Yeah, kind of. But it's a bunch of these tiles flipped face down. And throughout the course of the game, you're emerging from the apocalypse 1,000 years later. So you're exploring from the inner piece of the board all the way out to the outer pieces of the board, outer areas, and flipping these tiles as you go. So you're exploring, and then once they've been explored, you can build buildings on them and put out meeples on them for a population. So having said all of that, the way that I approach this is I generally look at you have your personal goals that are secret to you. You're given two personal private endgame objectives that you are working on. From those 2 cards, you'll choose one. And on that card, it actually gives you 3 different ways to score points. So you have your private objectives, and then you have 4 public objectives that are on the board. And I'm trying to look at how do those 2 things combine that I can combo up, but then also do any of my player powers, because when you're playing this, you each have individual player powers. Do any of my player powers coincide with those? So, for instance, one of my secret objective goals this game was whenever I build next to a water space, it's your end game objectives are a multiplier. So, I was going to get a bonus multiplier for building next to water spaces. Well, my personal player power was also related to water spaces. It allowed me to put a token on water spaces and get it at a second time. So I knew that, okay, one of my strategies is to get around water spaces. So that drove one of my strategies. But then also I had to decide, okay, well, you only get 2 actions per turn. It's nice to be able to get 2 bangers of an action. So one thing that I did a lot of this game was I let you guys do the exploring to flip over the tile.
And then you took advantage of it.
And then I took advantage of it because once it's flipped over, there's features on these tiles that if you build next to them, you go up a bunch of tracks and get a bunch of stuff. So you guys weren't doing the double action where you did once, JK, I saw it, but most of the time you weren't, where you would work up to a turn to where you could both explore and then build in the same turn. You were getting resources, exploring, flipping the tile over, and then leaving it. And I was sniping in and getting to build on it. And part of that was because one of the public bonuses that I was working towards and ended up not getting, but it was having presence on many different tiles over the course of the game. And so if y'all could do the work of flipping them, I'd go in and put some presence on there. So I looked at all those things from the get-go to figure out, okay, I have a general idea of what I'm trying to do. And then as you guys left things exposed, like I had one turn where I told you I had a plan for this, but then you exposed this one thing where I could build next to it and get 4 bonuses. So I'm going to do that real quick instead. So I was reacting to that. If that helps at all.
It does. And I guess now that you mention it, in all of the plays I've had of this game, I've never really put that much thought into the end game at the start of the game.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those games where that's super important. Like, I feel like it's generally important to be aware of like what the end game objectives are and how to achieve them. And it's like, I feel like with this game that can make or break the scoring. Cause that's what, like, little spoiler alert, James beat all of us by almost like 100 points. Like all of us.
Yeah. Dwayne, Emily, and I all finished within
10 points of each other. And James is like 100 points higher than like the second player.
We made some choices.
We did make choices.
And a lot of it was end game.
Yeah, exactly.
It was.
Yeah.
It was just like efficiency is such a key in this game. Because it was like, I just felt like there were so many moments where like I feel like James is like such a pro at this of finding the combo moves in any game you play. And this is a game where those, like, if you can combo, like every time my one action was just my one action, I was so sad because I was like, I can't just keep getting one book at a time or one food at a time. There's no way I'm going to get anything. So it took me a minute to get my engine going. And then it was one of those where I'm like, it's too late for this engine to do me any good.
One thing this designer does in all of his games, which I don't know if we mentioned it, the designer's name, the one that I think this is the main designer is Amundsen Oatsby. Utsby. But it's kind of a group of designers, but his name is always present on all the games that I think they design as a group. Is he gives you free actions, and this can cause both AP sometimes, but it is one of the strengths of this game of trying to build your engine. And you have your 6 main actions, but you go up. You are managing what makes one of your player boards so big is that you have 3 tracks you're going up on, but these tracks are designed in such a way where they're intertwined. Occasionally.
Yeah.
Yep. Or every few spots they'll connect, which gets you a new bonus. And when these bonuses unlock, it gives you a space to put down what's called a machine. And you have a resource in this game, which are lightning bolts, and you spend these lightning bolts on these machines. And if you were to unlock all of them over the course of the game, you end up with let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spaces for individual machines, which are free actions.
Mm-hmm.
So if at the end of the game, I've maybe collected 6 lightning bolts, let's say, over the course of the game, because you start with 1 lightning bolt to use, and you have to earn them in other ways throughout the game. I'm going to get my 2 main actions, which might get me some resources, allow me to build, do this couple things, but then I can spend 6 lightning bolts on all these free actions. Yeah. And these free actions are things like getting resources, converting stuff to points, getting to travel, getting extra range for free. We didn't talk about range, but it allows you to play an extra card, replay one of your spent crates for resources, all kinds of things. So you're trying to build an engine of machines that interplay with the cards that you have to allow you to have these big combo-y turns. And so these free actions are a big piece. He started this. One of his first main games is a game called The Magnificent, which is one of my sleeper favorite games. And he has a version of these free actions in there as well. So it's kind of across all of his games, but that's a big piece of Revive, is picking the right machines when you're allowed to.
He's also one of the designers on Bad Company. I had no idea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Huh.
I have to say, one of my favorite things of this game are, I'm not going to get the vocabulary right that they use in the game, but the modules that you can add on to the spots where you drop your cards.
Yeah, that was the exact
slot
right.
modules.
Yeah, slot modules.
Yeah, so clever. And the idea that the slot modules can have, I think, 1 or 2 colors, that you have to play that color of card to activate them. I love that component of this game. Also, if I can drop some good board game knowledge on y'all, the pieces that we were talking about, the shapes, when you have 4 hexes together, those are tetrahexes. And each combination of tetrahex has its own name. So the configuration that we had in this game is what's known as the B.
The B tetrahex. Okay.
This is as important as knowing the names of the shapes of McDonald's chicken McNuggets, I think.
when you say B, is it the letter B or is it BEE?
BEE, because when you look at the shape, JK, if you hold it in a certain way, you would have the head and the bottom, the tail of the B, and then the 2 hexes on the side would be the wings.
Because it's worth throwing in, that exact same style of piece shows up in Apiary.
Oh,
and Ark Nova.
Look at that. Oh my gosh. Little Easter egg from the design.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I feel like Ark Nova has a number of tetrahexes in the game.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the card play on this connected to those slot modules is also so satisfying. On your player board, you have starting off 4 slots to slot in cards, 2 on the top of your player board and 2 on the bottom. So what's neat about that is all the cards that you're playing in the game have stuff you can trigger for the top of the card or powers and things you can trigger on the bottom of the card. So you're trying to decide, do I want to slot this in the top and get stuff or slot it in the bottom and get the power? You can unlock a 5th space to play cards by going up what's really a tech tree on your player board, and that's where the meeples come in. When you play out population figures, which are meeples, onto the player board, it unlocks, you have tech trees you can go up and unlock special powers that are unique just to your faction. And so you can get up to 5, but all of these slots where you put in these cards have what Dwayne was describing as these modules that you can stick into them. Some have 2 slots, some have 3, but these modules give you stuff. And if you match up the color of the card you're playing to the slot modules, you'll play 1 card where the card gets you 2 books. Mm-hmm. But then with all your slot modules, you're going to get an extra 2 gears, an extra, ruby, and another book or something. And so by playing 1 card, you can become flush with resources and make a pretty cool turn.
Yeah, that was like the one thing I got right in our play is I maximized the efficiency of my slot modules. So there was 1 turn, I just got 6 gears, no problem.
Well, and to that point too, as James said, there's a switch you can pull, which allows you to utilize the goods on another player's card, but it pulls that card back out of its existing slot. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I was desperate for 1 more food bag, and the only person that had any available was Emily, who also had 3 slot modules on that spot. So I kind of had to agonize over, I need 1 food bag, but I'm giving Emily a hell of a turn to do it. Yeah.
Emily everything she needs to have a good turn.
Any negatives on this game?
No.
That's a good sign. Okay.
I think I wanted to complain about the rule book, but I feel like that was like user in chair error. I think like I was telling the guys before recording where I had it pulled up. This was a game I had to play on the computer. I relied so much on the tooltips that BGA provides. Still felt like it wasn't enough, and I was like, I would Control F to try to find I was like, okay, I know putting meeple on a space is called populating, but how the heck does that work? And I think if I had just read the rule book beginning to end, I think I would have had a better understanding of it. But there's just like a lot to keep in your head. But it's like once it's in there, it's super enjoyable. I just found that learning it on my own was stressful.
It does suffer, in my opinion. There's kind of like games have a ideal number of actions per turn. There are a lot of choices in this game, and it's almost overwhelming. Like a lot of game players are going to love this because of the number of choices. This is getting into a territory where, do I really want to think this hard about what my possible choices are this turn? It amplifies my analysis paralysis a little bit, I'd say, but that's a personal complaint. And if I think we know other board gamers who are like that. So if that's your style of play, this might not be the best game for you.
Well, and I think, you kind of lucked in saying that, Dwayne, where I struggle with the game. There's so much to do. I just want to dive in and do actions, but I haven't figured out how to put them all together to make them worthwhile yet.
Yeah.
And I will say, I agree with that. The one thing I like about this game that I don't like about one of his next games, not Recall, but a smaller one they released that I was really excited about, called Sparks, from a couple years ago. I got it at Gen Con.
Yeah.
It was really exciting. This Revive, what I think does well to help with that is that you don't have access to all the things from the get-go. Right, it does grow into that and build into that to where you have all these extra additional actions, but from the get-go, there are some options, but it's not what it eventually becomes. So you have time to accustom yourself with what you have available to you. You spent a number of turns thinking about how they work together and combo together. So you've started to internalize it over the course of the game. The thing about I don't like about Sparks is that they actually gave you a lot of all that stuff from the get-go. And I set it up one time to even just do a test play. And I was like, I don't even know where to start. This is it's too many options. Right? This Revive is at least good at doling those options out over the course of the game. As you earn those extra machines, as you earn the lightning bolts and all that kind of stuff. But it does turn into quite a lot to consider.
Regardless of my inability to do well at this game, I love this game. I've owned it pretty much since the day you introduced me to it, James. I think it's a fantastic piece of work in terms of components and design. Huge marks there. I will play this whenever anybody wants to play it. I will probably lose continually until I figure out how to get under it. But great game. Definitely it's a keeper for me.
This is a keep it to play for me. I am itching to get back in it. Now that I know how it works on BGA, I feel more comfortable playing it with strangers.
Dwayne, what do you think?
Y'all, I have debated this so much because I really, really enjoyed this the first time I played it. And I've taken so many things into account. The fact that I don't want the BGA interpretation to soil my opinion of the game. There was one factor that was going to lean me into a keep it to play, and that was the idea that you unlock as you go through playthroughs of the game, you unlock other bits. And then at the beginning of this segment, James was like, you don't really need that. And so I'm like, without that, I don't see the reason why I would own it. So I am going to trade it away, sadly.
Oh, sad to hear. Yeah, we played with all the stuff you would unlock. Right? They give you those options in Board Game Geek. And to give you an example, one of the things that they force you to play a game to unlock is the switch that allows you to get resources from another player.
Okay.
The card thing. Without playing through it, the switch just gets you one resource. hit your switch for one resource, and that's it.
Interesting. Okay.
Right? But and that's the only thing you unlock in that first playthrough of the legacy is that one thing.
Lame.
Like, well, yeah,
That's lame.
I don't want to wait to have to play with that. That's a big piece of the game. Right? So, yeah, there's just stuff like that.
The legacy did seem interesting.
So yeah, it's not truly legacy to where it just basically unlocks the fullness of the game, but they make you play through four plays to make it happen.
Is it kind of trying to do a Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion where it's making your initial plays easier?
Ish, but not even that much. Like Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion is way more so a learning experience as they dole in major changes.
Yeah.
This isn't really major changes. It's the switch changes, the two tile types where it's ruby locations instead of getting books. It costs those are it costs gears. Those are in the module too. So, but I hear you, Dwayne. I'm sorry. I'm sad to see it. It's definitely keep it to play for me. I love this game. It's one of my favorites, probably in my top 10. I mean, it's just the combo goodness of this game and the tactile experience of playing it, of moving it. There's a lot we didn't describe or go into because it's just a big game, but it's fun just to play with and move these tracks around and move pieces, and it's great. I love it. It's my kind of game. Obviously, when like you said it, Emily, I love combo-y stuff. And this is that. And somehow I usually manage to do it without a lot of AP. So it's unique for me in that regard.
Revive is getting 3 out of 4 on the Glee meter. And as we already disclosed, James trounced us in this game.
Oh,
it wasn't
word.
even close. But winners don't matter this season. It's rotation time. And next up in the rotation is Emily. What are we going to be playing next?
So there was a game that I specifically did not mention in our discussion earlier today. Because I kind of wanted to keep it a little bit more of a surprise. It did come up because JK mentioned it as an honorable mention, but I'm continuing my co-op streak this season, and we're going to play Hanabi.
Nice.
Emily, I had it written down before you even said it because I knew what you were going for. All right, speaking of future games of the show, is there a game you'd like us to play? Have thoughts about Hanabi, Revive, or any other game we've talked about on this episode? Shoot us an email at pod@gleefulmeeple.com.
So I think we've talked enough about board games that it's time to play a game on air. No, not a board game, a game about board games. Dwayne has brought us a game for us to play.
Y'all, I'm so excited. I am going to channel my old career of being a classroom teacher. I call this the board game pop quiz. So please put your names at the top of your paper, number 1 through 10, and prepare for your pop quiz.
Dwayne, do I need to write the honor code?
Oh, that is a very good inside joke for the two of us, Emily. If we haven't talked about it before on the show, which I know we have, Emily and I attended the same high school, and Emily, it might have changed. I'm going to see if I can still remember this. But at our high school, Hume Fogg Academic, before every quiz and test, we had to write the honor code. And I think it was
every single assignment for me.
Oh, wow. Was at the time, it was something like, I have neither given nor received help on this assignment.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely changed it.
Okay, what was it for you, Emily?
It was something like, I have abided by the HFA honor code in the completion of this assignment or something like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then you would sign your full name.
We did have to sign it. I remember specifically received was in it because I could never remember how to spell received.
Were you guys punished by going to this school?
No, I loved high school. It was like going to Hogwarts, JK. It was amazing. It really was. I got so good at signing my name, and I have not signed my name as much as I thought I would in my adult life, and so my last name just gets all like scribbles now.
For listeners that aren't in Nashville, I kind of want to give you a feel of what downtown Nashville is like. It's honky tonks and crowds of drunken people and bachelorette parties just staggering up and down Broadway. Also on Broadway, a high school.
In a castle.
That looks like a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so on the previous
never
episode...
said or will say the name that shall not be named.
I mentioned on the previous episode that on the trivia event that I did on the cruise, that we did a round that was going to inspire a future game challenge, and here we are. This is it. So we had 4 rounds of trivia. The first 3, they gave us the topic of each round, but for the 4th round, they said there is a theme. We're not going to tell you what it is. And after the second question, my team realized that the theme was all of the answers happened to be the names of board games. So I am going to ask you 10 questions, general knowledge questions, but every answer is the name of a board game. So you can use that to help you.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's start with number 1. We're going to do all 10 questions, and then you will pass your assignment to your neighbor for grading. I think I just triggered Emily a little bit. I saw her head whip up. All right. Question number 1. Of the 2 utilities on a classic Monopoly board, it's the one closest to the go to jail space. I will ask each question twice, and then we will move on to the next one because it's one of those types of games. Of the 2 utilities on a classic Monopoly board, it's the one closest to the go to jail space.
Okay. I think our discussion today helped me with that, actually, I think.
Uh-oh. That means I got it
Number
wrong.
2. A Calvin Klein perfume released in 1986 that has notes of cinnamon and lavender was used in a 2018 attempt to capture a killer tigress.
JK was so fast to write his answer down.
Yeah.
A Calvin Klein perfume released in 1986 that has notes of cinnamon and lavender was used in a 2018 attempt to capture a killer tigress.
Okay.
Interesting.
Question number 3. All Sheryl Crow wants to do is have some fun, at least until the sun comes up over this east to west boulevard in Los Angeles County. All Sheryl Crow wants to do is have some fun, at least until the sun comes up over this east to west boulevard in Los Angeles County.
I like Dwayne's counting.
Uh-huh.
Question number 4. Let me start over. This 2005 NBC show was based on the real-life Alison Dubois, who claims to have used her abilities to help U.S. law enforcement officials solve crimes. This 2005 NBC show was based on the real-life Alison Dubois, who claims to have used her abilities to help U.S. law enforcement officials solve crimes.
I know the show. I can't think of its name. It's 20 years ago.
I wasn't watching NBC in 2005.
Question number 5. This historic capital city of the Central Val de Loire region of France was named after a Roman emperor. Or let me clarify, was named to honor a Roman emperor. It's not his exact name. This historic capital city of the I'm gonna English this up, of the Centre Val de Loire region of France was named in honor of a Roman emperor. Question number 6. It's either the 10th or 4th Star Trek film, depending on how you look at it. It's either the 10th or the 4th Star Trek film, depending on how you look at it.
I think I actually know this one.
I was so young when I watched those.
I'm taking a quick. I'm going to give you all another few seconds on this one. Just make sure I have this right. I don't want another Day of the Dead situation here. Okay. This is 7, 8, 9. This is number 7. Question number 7. This Stephen King novel ends with the same line that began the saga. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. This Stephen King novel ends with the same line that began the saga. The man in black fled across the desert, and the gunslinger followed. Question number 8. Bart royally messed up when he selected this crime by pushing random numbers on the Springfield Police Department's automated system. Bart royally messed up when he selected this crime by pushing random numbers on the Springfield Police Department's automated system.
Selected this crime.
Like reporting a phone tree mishap.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no.
Question number 9. A discrepancy between the order of events in a story and the order in which they are presented in the plot, like a flash forward or a flashback. A discrepancy between the order of events in a story and the order that they are presented in the plot, like a flash forward or a flashback. And your final question. The 11th Doctor's companion, Amy Pond, advertises for this perfume, but I can't imagine people wanting to smell like dust after rain. The 11th Doctor's companion, Amy Pond, advertises for this perfume, but I can't imagine people wanting to smell like dust after rain. Before we pass our answers, I would just like to say that I have really enjoyed my vengeance on this round of trivia, watching James shake his head continuously. I don't know what this feeling is inside of me, but I really enjoy it and hope it continues for future games of the show.
Anyway, no, that's a lot of blank spaces.
Pass your papers.
4 answers, so...
Pass your papers to your neighbor, and we will.
I didn't get them all.
I only have 4, so just ignore that. Those are just notes I was taking. So,
oh yeah, same. I did the same thing with some
so I only have
parentheses.
The top 4. I can't think of anything.
Oh,
else.
and none of ours are the same answers.
Ooh, this will be fun then. All right, well, let's start at the top. Of the 2 utilities on a classic Monopoly board, it's the one closest to go to jail.
Waterworks.
Waterworks is what we were looking for.
Nice.
Hey, I got one.
Does
Emily?
Does anyone know the name of the other
not.
utility?
You're scoring mine.
Oh, I'm scoring yours.
It's the
Yeah.
company.
Okay, got it. Sorry.
I said power grid.
So I had to check the other utility is actually electric company, and I had to check because I felt for sure there had to be an electric company game based on the old children's TV show, and there's not one. So I was like, all right, this is a valid question. Question the second. A Calvin Klein perfume released in 1986 that has notes of cinnamon and lavender and was used in a 2018 attempt to capture a killer tigress. That was Obsession.
Nice.
Oh, Wow.
Question
I
number
did not.
3. All Sheryl Crow wants to do is have some fun, at least until the sun comes up over this east to west boulevard in Los Angeles County. I was looking for Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Santa Monica Boulevard.
All I remembered
Do, do,
was
do,
Sunset
do, do,
Boulevard.
Do.
And I was like, I don't think there's a board game.
This 2005 NBC show was based on the real-life Alison Dubois, who claims to have used her abilities to help U.S. law enforcement officials solve crimes. That is Medium.
Yeah, I put psychic.
Medium.
Ah.
Amazing.
So close. Then we have the historic city capital of the Central Val de Loire region of France, and was named in honor of a Roman emperor. That is Orléans.
Oh,
not
okay.
Carcassonne.
Not Carcassonne.
Yeah, here you go, James.
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh no.
I'm done grading.
Next question. It's either the 10th or the 4th Star Trek film, depending on how you look at it.
Is it the New Frontiers?
It is not. It
No!
is Nemesis.
Oh. Is there a
Nemesis
Star
is the
Trek New
10th
Frontiers?
That might be one of the many series that they have now.
Shoot.
There's not a movie by that name that I know of. But it is the 10th Star Trek film, but the 4th with the Next Generation crew. All right, moving on. This Stephen King novel ends with the same line that began the saga. The man in black fled across the desert and the gunslinger followed. I was looking for The Dark Tower. Yep.
Oh, I'm reading the Park Tower, so that's going to be incorrect.
Okay.
All right. Then we have Bart Royal. And I thought this one was hard because I know y'all might not be like the Simpsons fan that I am. So I put a clue in this one for you.
Might.
Bart royally messed
It
up
helped
when
me
he
a lot.
selected this crime by pushing random numbers on the Springfield Police Department's automated system. I hope you were like Bart in that you have selected regicide.
Oh my.
Oh. no.
That's funny.
Not fraud.
I put homicide. I was close.
Oh, so close. So
I'll give you
close.
half credit because it's half the word.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
A discrepancy between the order of events in a story and the order in which they are presented in the plot, like a flash forward or a flashback. Anybody think they got this one?
No.
Nope.
The word I was looking for is anachrony.
Ah.
Wow.
Anachrony.
Oh.
And our last one. The 11th Doctor's companion, Amy Pond, advertises for this perfume, but I can't imagine anyone wanting to smell like dust after rain.
Is it
Any
Petrichor?
ideas? It is Petrichor.
Wow.
Nice get, Jake. That's a deep
Yeah.
cut of a game, too. Wow.
JK
All right.
definitely won.
All right. So here's the
Return.
final
Oh,
scores.
JK, you got it? All right.
So Emily got a half.
Amazing.
I was so proud of myself. I was like, I'm trying not to leave any blank answers. I only had 2 frowny faces, but they were all horribly wrong.
I'm giving her a half point for homicide because at least it's a side.
It is a side of Hama.
Say, I got 2 out of 10.
All right.
Absolute failure. And JK got, drum roll please, 6 out of 10.
Woo!
But
Hey, depending
When
on
I
your
don't know
grading
about- when-
system, that might be a passing score.
when I was in school, 60% was an F. So good job, JK.
If we grade on a
Amazing.
curve, yeah, are we grading this on a curve? Because I'm going to do a lot better.
All right. Thank you so much for taking the board game pop quiz.
No, thank you. You said you're going to revenge from last game, and you did it.
Boy, howdy, did
Mission
you?
accomplished. Unfurl the banner, please.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for today. First off, though, we do want to thank our sponsor. If you are working your way through the mall and you're getting hungry, but it's not quite dinner time yet, head on down to the food court and hit up Hot Sam. Originating in the Livonia Mall in Detroit, it's the original pretzel vendor for the mall. It's hot. Sam says stop, sit, sip, and stay a while. Hot Sam. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can email us at pod@gleefulmeeple.com or find us on Instagram at gleefulmeeplepod. By the time this episode airs, it's gonna be May. Come find us at our next game event in Nashville. We'll see you all soon. Thanks, Meeples.
See ya.
Bye, Gleeples.
Bye, everybody.